All righty, everyone. Thanks for joining us. As you can see, we got a special host today, Mo.
How's it going? Good. How are you guys doing?
Okie dokie, Mo. Thank you very well. I'd say that. I've been ill most of this week and last week, and you can hear, and that's why there's been no sort of playthrough videos. But apart from that, not too bad.
Yeah. Got a little bug.
Everybody in the country's got it.
I think he gave me the loogie too because I was down all week. I was off work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Lurgy.
Went and got a COVID test on Friday because I'm like, this is bad. This is really bad. But it came back negative, so I don't know. It must be that nasty flu that's coming around.
Well, it is the cold and flu season, so we're gonna have to deal with that. I mean, every time anybody coughs at work, it's like you cough or you sneeze. Everyone like looks at you. It's like allergies, man, allergies.
Yeah. But it is the season to be snotty. So there we go.
True.
You know.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
Ryan, how you doing? Good to see you. Everyone, thank you guys for coming. So appreciate you guys making special arrangements for me this week. The wife is actually going to be flying back in tonight at 5:20. Her plane comes back in. So I'm like, I better try to make it there on time. So if the show goes till 6, she's going to be a little upset. But of course, who knows what's going to happen.
Otherwise, you guys won't have a show next week because next week you are bringing on the wives, right?
That's right.
Whose crazy idea was that? That's what
It's going to be not this one. Let's try the other one, dude. There we go. So next week, guys, if you're just joining us, you don't know what's going on. Next week is our second anniversary show, October 23rd. Back to normal time, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be giving away free war games to special viewers that are there during the show. And as a bonus, you'll get to meet our wives who are going to be coming on the show and spending a segment or two with us just to say hi and
I guess you won't be talking about your recent purchases if the wives are going to be on the show.
Mute him. Quick, mute him. Mute his phone.
I've had so many comments from people like burn the receipts and disable the chat.
Crazy. Kyle says, are us Brits eligible? We were talking about that, weren't we?
We are talking about that, and yes, anyone's going to be available. Anyone that wins, whether you're in the United States or not, we will ship it to you. We meaning me, because it looks like it's going to come from me. The only game that won't come from me, you can't win if you're not in the United States because it's not coming from me. So there'll be one game that you have to be a U.S. resident to win because it won't be coming from me. The rest of them, I think, will be coming from me, and I will ship them anywhere. So, yes. So anyone's available, and what we've been doing is going through the last 100 episodes, and we've been checking off every time somebody made a snide comment. We've taken that person and we've thrown him in the trash. So,
there you go. Naughty list.
Yeah,
put him on the naughty list. Every time somebody put a good comment in, we said, "Oh, we put his name in the hat." So,
well, what you do at that point when you have the naughty list, you say you won. You make a big deal about how they won, and you hold up a box, case blue. You send them a box, they open it up, case blue, it's full of rocks or coal.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a really heavy game.
You have
I like that idea.
About you, sir.
Psych.
Yeah, so we got quite a few games that we're going to be giving away for free. Anyone is eligible, and even Mo, you could win a free game. The only people that are not eligible are me and Ruff and Tony.
And somebody mentioned up here, I was just looking over at the chat about Kev's video. He posted a 2-minute video earlier, and the house was a little warm, and he opened up 2 windows, and he had set up one of his games apparently close to the window. And 2 or 3 hours worth of setup and clipping and all was swept away, shall we say.
I was
like,
watching
oh,
this.
man.
I was watching this as he was going through his list of Compass games. Games that he was going to book to purchase and talk about it. I didn't see the other video though, so that's
He just
funny.
posted it. Yeah,
I saw it and I thought, oh crikey, no, I've just got the notification to come here. So that's what it was, right?
Mhm. It's a short video, but it's long in the pain.
Yeah. Well, shouldn't laugh really.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone that's mentioned Algiers in the last 2 years, you're out. So I guess you can't win because you keep mentioning it over and over and over again.
I'm just doing my due diligence to make sure you understand the
Makes a
difference between
change.
a city and a country.
It makes a change for him having a moan at Rommel, and Field Commander Rommel. Me and Tony played.
Did you see the episode? I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, Mo, where I actually went back and I got the clip where me and Ruff, this is before Tony joined the show, and Tony posted a comment saying, I just got my Field Commander Rommel today in the mail. I can't wait to get it on the table.
Nice.
So I posted that as a tease for these guys. So yes, next Saturday will be our 2nd anniversary.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
It's awesome.
And you're coming up on your 2nd anniversary with your show.
Yeah, January.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you guys get nominated for War Game?
I don't think so. No one told us
We
if we
I
did.
don't think we got nominated either. So
Yeah.
why
We're
is
the
that?
unsung. We're the island of misfit toys.
I know.
That's
That's
fine.
it. Yeah. We're the box of broken biscuits.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, wait a minute. Who's this Tony's Board Life guy? And what's he doing here?
Look at that.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. You start talking about him and he shows up out of the blue. Look at that. Yeah, he couldn't make it this week. So we appreciate Mo. Mo is our usual go-to guy. He's as soon as I find out Tony can't make it, I email Mo and he's like, yeah, I'll be there. Sure. I love it. So
Yeah,
we'd love to have you.
great time on the show.
In fact, I'm thinking about if you didn't have your own show, right? If you guys decide to cancel your show, I think we could probably make a replacement.
Wow.
No, there'd be 4. We'd have 4, wouldn't we? We'd have Mo. We'd bring Mo. Come on, Mo. Don't get up. Come here. Come and join us. And we'd have Tony as well.
There you go.
Yeah, 4 of us. It'd be mainly 3. Knowing what Tony's like. But there you go.
What is Algiers? Isn't that a country?
I still don't know if it's a country or a town. I'm still lost on that. So I think one of the games we're giving away will be Colonial Twilight.
Nice. It's slightly used. It might be banged up a little. One of the cards might be slightly torn.
I was going to say.
Nothing a little tape can't fix.
Absolutely. So what you been up to, Ruff, besides being sick? I mean, still got your game there, and I know we talked ahead of time. Putting those videos out when you're coughing all the time is hard, isn't it?
I couldn't do the Bug River because you know what it's like, Mo. It goes on a bit. I'm enjoying it, but it goes on a bit, yeah. And I struggled. I got a couple of open the box things because I got Red Storm and the new solo expansion, so I wanted to get them out and put them together. But it took me 2 days to do because you're bending over videoing and then you think, oh God, where's the tissue? And you're coughing. It took an age. And I think one of my subscribers says, "You all right, Ruff? Sound like you got a cold." And I went, "Yeah, no shit, Sherlock." And
thank you, Captain Obvious.
no, he said it nicely. He said, "Oh, yeah, it get better. If not, I'm sorry." But yeah, it took me ages. So I had no videoing. So what I've done is I'm going to carry on hopefully with the Bug River. I want to try and get a turn finished so I can then show people what happens afterwards.
So you're planning on it being a 15-part series?
Yeah, I'm up to 12. I know.
Fire right there.
About an hour each.
I know. Yeah, they're about 40 minutes each.
Yeah.
It depends. I might do that and then just do an end thing where I show you what happens in the admin phase or the end of term phase. just so people know. And I've got out there, Storm Above the Reich. So hoping to do that next. And then I'm not sure. I'm getting a bit more organised, sort of planning what I want to do. Maybe a bit of Next War.
Which one?
Next War,
Korea.
Korea.
Nice.
Just because everybody's done Vietnam, and it's great. It looks great. And I might try Korea.
Stay timely. Do Taiwan.
I can't get it. You can't get it. You can't get Taiwan. I know you've got Mo.
Ooh, just dropped it.
Oh dear. Yeah,
Ooh.
it's on. That's the one on the P500. I've got that on the P500 with Poland.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get a second-hand copy because they're now bringing it out with the nice thick counters, aren't they?
They are.
Those are the thinner counters, and I want them to look, all the same, and the thicker box as well.
Yeah, the box is definitely nicer. The thicker counters, I kind of like the thinner counters myself.
Oh, I like the thick. But
for clipping and stacking, I just love them.
Yeah, and they make a nice little clink sound when you drop them on the.
Yes.
But yeah, so I might do Korea, and I might use the because I've got the 2 supplements. I might use the alternate air war hybridy rules that you got in the supplement 1 because it's a bit more involved.
You're going to do the advanced game or just the basic?
I'll do a standard game with those hybrid air rules in it. So
well, all this might change because we actually have Miss Land coming on October 30th. So that would be 2 weeks from tonight. So we're going to get to talk to him, and Ruff's got questions.
Oh, I'm going to bend his ear. He's going to regret.
He's going to. So
you'll have him on before we will, because I've talked to Mitch a while back about coming on the show, and we just haven't set it up yet. But we do have somebody else though that we're waiting on a date to invite them on the show. That's going to work to their favor. So we'll be bringing back someone, Fabrizio Vianello.
Oh, that's
to talk about oil war.
Yeah, that's the huge things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So no definitive date yet on that.
No, just waiting on him to give us a date as far as, they're going through the printing now. So when it's closer to when it's going to go out, that's when we'll have him on the show.
Yep.
So
Carl said do some not a war game Wednesday playthroughs. I want to, folklore or aliens or Shadows of Brimstone. Love to. Just can't find the time. I'd love to do it. So it does get a little bit of poo-poo when I put up a video on Not a War Game Wednesday. Somebody always does the old, but hey ho.
It's a thumb. It works for the algorithm. That's all that matters.
I know. But, so it's not that I can't. It's just time. Sorry, I just want to answer Carl.
So Ruff was talking. He's been mentioning the Bug River. He's mentioned that you and Kev has been playing that online, and I've stopped in a couple of times to watch some of that.
Yeah.
And I know you guys have some issues with it. So I wanted to discuss them with you if you
Sure.
I mean, it seems like when you and Kev were online, you were going over stuff that didn't seem right for you guys, or didn't make sense, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of things. Now, first off, before I go any further, I may sound like, I do sound like I'm knocking the game, and I am knocking the length of the turns because it's ridiculously long, in my opinion. It needs to be shortened because there is a very good game in there. The combat is outstanding. I really love the combat because when you fight, at least to me, I think the combat with the combat modifier that shit you draw, that changes things up each time. It really feels like a slugfest because you're like, you have one battle, and it's not like every other war game where, okay, I'm going to move in here and you're there and I'm going to roll dice. What's the modifiers? Okay, I win, you die. Here it's, okay, here's a couple punches. You're hit a little bit. Maybe I'm hit a little bit. All right, now we continue on. Next time I activate or you activate, we continue on. It goes for a while, and I like that because you really feel like you're in a slugfest at that point. It's not just immediately, okay, well, you can math it out. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to have a 4-to-1 odds, and I'm just going to win, and I'm going to take that spot, and I'm going to move on. No, it feels like you're fighting for every inch, and I think that's really awesome. The slowdown part for me, where it really becomes monotonous, is okay, I got to determine what units I'm going to activate. Then I've got to roll, and I've got to see how many activations I got, and I got to, match it up to that to see how many action points I get. And there are a couple, especially for the Soviets, those border guard units, it's like, it's just kind of wasted activations. They're just speed bumps, to me at least. I haven't figured out a way to do anything else with them other than to let them be in the way and slow down. Yeah. So that's kind of a waste. What I would like to see instead is I'd like to see an improvement, maybe like a chit draw or something like that, or maybe you get a set amount for the first turn, and then for the second turn there's a modifier or something. You roll a die, or I don't know, something to speed it up so that you just expedite your movement and you're into the movement and you're going along, right? And you feel like you're making progress, rather than, okay, hold on, I got to figure out how many I'm going to move. Well, let me see, who do I want to move first? And then you decide that. Now I get to decide how many points I want. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's an awful lot of dice rolling before you get anywhere by the end of the first turn. And the first turn is really just getting across the Bug River. So.
Yeah. But I found that's why I decided to do just the first little scenario, which is 4 turns. I'm not going to be able to do 4 turns because that's going to take me half a year to video.
It will take a while to video. It would.
And you guys doing, took 9 hours to do a turn, 9 hours of it. And I appreciate that. And somebody asked me, they said, I've heard a couple of, things about this. What do you think? And I think, well, the only things I've heard is that the turns take a long time. There's a lot of die rolling.
Yeah.
And that's about it. He said, well, that's part of the game, isn't it? I said, well, yeah, if you understand that's what you're getting into with this game. And there's a great game in there. I loved Arkan crossing the line as well. But it's this type of game where you have to activate a formation every turn. You've got to decide which formation, then you've got to find out how many action points they've got, and then do that, and then roll again for initiative, and blah 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 blah. So yeah, it does take time, which is why I probably will only do, if that, 1 turn, because of the length of time.
Yeah, that's the only drawback. Hey,
and
RJ.
The other thing you had a problem was the retreat rules. I've not come across that.
Yeah.
I always leave a little bit of an escape route. If you don't, you're buggered, aren't you? As you found out, yeah.
Well, yeah. The problem with that was, and all credit to VUCA. We're doing this discussion on the show when Kev and I were playing during the live stream. VUCA has sat down and watched every show that we did with that. They watched every play. And they listened to our concerns, and then they've emailed us. We've gone back and forth because we were like, that first game, that first night, we found, because remember the setup, you pretty much have to put, because you can't have more than 1 infantry per hex.
No, that's the other thing. Yeah.
And they say you need to put them within 4 hexes of, you have to, all these setups, you have to put them all within a certain amount of hexes. Well, Kev did what I would have done. I'll just spread them all out then. Well, I guess that in their testing of this, they, because Kev was even a little surprised, I guess. They didn't have anybody. The Soviet player must have just always laid back. And I'm like, screw this. I got to freaking stop him at the bridge. I'm going to run my tanks up there and start shooting. And Kev's like, oh, you're going to get right now. I'm like, hey, dude, it's a war game. I get right into it. I'm going to start swinging right away.
That's what I did. I remembering what happened to you, I thought, I'm not going to bring them both up and not leave anywhere to get back.
Yeah.
So one of them just come up and the other one's waiting in reserve. But yeah, that's what I would do. Just
so the weird thing about it is, I come up there, I hit him pretty good, and then I have to retreat. His infantry has to retreat, and because he's got all the hexes around there, there's 1 infantry in each hex. The way the rule works is he has to retreat. So he retreats. There's infantry there. It's overstacked. That disrupts everybody in the hex, and he has to move to the next hex. Oh, guess what? There's another infantry there. Okay. Sometimes there's tanks in there too. Again, everybody has to disrupt. He has to move to the next hex. So you have this cascading, problem where you are going to basically just disrupt everybody in a line until you finally get to an empty hex that you can put that infantry unit in. So by the time it was done, he ended up like 4 or 5 hexes away, which was like 12 miles or 12 kilometers or something like that. And I'm like, that's crazy. So
with nothing.
Yeah. And you disrupt them automatically. And so then VUCA says, well, how about they have to roll an effectiveness check? And I was like, that's not bad, but how about this? How about you retreat 1 hex and then you get an overstack penalty? That's it.
Mm.
You just
And you have to put that right
yes.
next turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of games do that.
So that way you have to burn an AP to, correct that. So that is a penalty to you. But, essentially it's these units are ready to fight. These units get knocked out of there. So they run back and they're running around going, oh my God, we're getting shot at. And these guys are not as effective in fighting. So they suffer some sort of DRM, I think that would be much more effective than having a damn, cascading issue across the board where the unit starts here and it goes 5 hexes away and everybody's disrupted in the way.
I know when I was watching, that was like the biggest. Yeah, like it was literally an hour of you guys discussing this, and the rules and changes, and it was like, wow, didn't they think of this ahead of time? It's just
as I said, they probably had Grodnards playing it, not people like me and Mo went go for it, tanks, and now they've seen that. I mean, and I'm aware of it. I'm aware of that rule. So I make sure there's always, for both sides, an escape route in case they have to retreat. So we don't get that, I won't bring everything across and make a big block. So if something retreats, you're going to get that problem. Yeah. So it means I'm a little bit more cagey about coming across, and that adds to the length of the time. Mm-hmm. But that's one of the great things I like about the game is as the game progresses, as the turn progresses, and you're moving down your activation numbers, you're going to get less and less action points. And you're going to do less and less with them. And I love that. So,
but it's a drink, everybody.
Oh, God. Cheers. But yeah, I've never come across that. But yeah, I'm glad they've taken that on board, and maybe we'll do an errata or a sort of clarification sort of thing in case that happens, because it does sound daft.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, before we get to Jay's question here, I just think that they're kind of mixing a little bit of Euro style with war games, and that's fine. The problem is when the Euro, the management, the action points and the action point management starts to, kind of drag the game down a little bit as far as time. It extends it too much. And I love the idea, and I love the fact that you have to manage that, because that does give you that command mentality. But going back to what Jay was saying here, he had that question back up. You could pull that up, Ruff. Does it play faster if you play with 2 players, if you prepare your movements in advance, for example? Well, I can tell you, Ruff has done his solo. Me and Cav were doing it opposed, and we went like 9-10 hours before we got into the end of turn 1. And granted, we didn't have our moves ahead of time. This is our first playthrough, so that does add a little bit of time. But I would say, okay, maybe we wasted, out of that 9 hours, if you cut all that out, an hour to an hour and a half at most. Yeah, so it's still 7.5 hours to get through 1 turn. We'll cut it down. We'll say 7 hours, because you're doing all these die rolls and stuff like that. And you can't make a plan, because like Ruff was just saying, you have to roll for your action points each time, and it will change as your activations go down, because you get a set amount of activations per unit, and there are several units you can activate. Then you have to roll your die roll and then compare it to the activations to see how many action points you have. So that degrades over time, and you could still get good die rolls and get good action points. But it's one of those things that I wish there was a way that they can do it a little bit better, maybe some other way. I'm not sure how to keep that aspect in the game, but the combat is fantastic.
Yeah, it's
I really
great.
Enjoy that part.
Yeah, picking those chits, and you think, right, they're not going to lose. The Germans aren't going to lose, and then they draw the worst chit ever, and the Russians, the Soviets get this, and they go, get out of here. And they really give the Germans a bloody nose. Yeah. And you think, this is wonderful. It's great. And you've also got the combat results table. You've got the different DRMs. You've got the tank points and the anti-tank points. And
that's another thing where it does take a little bit of adjustment to figuring those out. It's not that they're really difficult, but you got to sit down and say, okay, what's the difference in the anti-tank points, and what's the DRMs for, based on, okay, we're going to come up with the modifier, not the modifier, we're going to come up with the odds. And then, okay, what are we in? We're in hex. What kind of hex are we in? Clear? Or are we in forest? Then you got to look on the CRT and decide it's 4-1 on this. Oh, no, it's not there. It's over here. It's 4-1 because of the terrain. So that's one of the things that's also a little odd to get used to.
I don't
no, but it's odd to get used to. So it slows you down, compared to a regular CRT.
Once you get into it, the mechanisms aren't quite like most hex and counter games.
No, they're different. They're innovative.
Yeah.
And I believe yelling and screaming for 2 years, Ruff, about trying to get new things in Wargaming, trying different things.
But the thing is, this is an old game revamped.
Yeah.
Archon was an old game revamped, or an older game revamped. This Across the Bug River, it uses the mechanics of crossing the line. So it's just.
And they don't have
The only thing I would change on it, though, is as much as I do love the quality of the game, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's fantastic.
Slippy, as I call them, slippy.
Yes, the counters don't go with that linen finish, because you just put them on there and they just slide. And when you've got to have each of these counters, like you can stack three counters in a hex, but each of them will have a hex or a counter underneath it that'll tell you how many steps are left. So okay, that's 6, and then if they're dug in, you got another one. If they're another status, you're up to 7, 8 counters in a hex.
You just touch it.
You just breathe it. They just go all over. It's like, damn it.
Right, so I was going to say it's not a usual 2-step, reduced unit.
No.
Flip it over. It's got like
4, 6,
steps.
8. Yeah.
Yeah. On the other side is the disrupted side.
Yes.
That's it. So when you have to lose a step loss or a combat,
got to turn the counter.
You use those tourney counters. Have you seen? We've got like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
Clock face. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's fantastic that way, but that is the only thing I would change for them. I would recommend to not use those counters in the future. All the other components, leave it the way they are, but the counters definitely go with your standard, matte finish, whatever.
I do use the word slippy a couple of times in the video.
Slippy.
They're a bit slippy.
They definitely are.
Yeah.
But brilliant. They are lovely.
Well, I feel like odd man out because I don't own that game. It really didn't seem like something that would, kind of fit my bill. But
well, you were wrong.
Yeah,
yes, I am.
Bringing out North Africa one next.
Nice.
I like North Africa.
Yeah,
I like North Africa.
Well, no, I want the Red Storm game.
Red Storm? You mean the VUCA one?
Yes.
Oh, you mean the Gulf Strike variation one?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see.
I'm hoping
that one's supposed to come out, I think, first quarter.
What, next year?
Yeah, next year.
I'm hoping Patrick will look kindly on me.
Red Strike, not Red Storm.
I hope Patrick looks kindly on me.
Well, maybe you can win it on our special anniversary show, which is coming up next week.
We're giving away Red Strike, and it's not even available yet. You guys are the best.
I will mention there is a game that we're giving away that has not been released yet. I will say that. But come on by next week if you want to win the free games. Get to meet the guys, meet the Ys, have a good time, hang out. It'd be awesome.
Nice.
Looking forward to it.
Now, the one I don't have yet, I'm waiting on, is the expansion to Red Storm. I had Red Storm in the brain. The one that you were talking about. That's on the way to me. And I've never punched Red Storm yet, even, because it's just like, okay, it's one of those, I'll get to it eventually. But then when I saw that expansion that was really solitaire driven, I was like, oh, I'm getting that.
Yeah. Right. And my video was the world exclusive. So that's the first one. Howard was saying, the guy that designed it was saying, oh, really looking forward to seeing that. And I had to cajole Phil at Second Chance Games to send it to me pretty darn quick. I said, I want to put it on the channel. He went, fair enough. So because he was doing them in like alphabetical order, and I'm thinking, T is my turn, mate. So he sent it.
You'll still get it faster than I will across the pond here.
I know, but that's what he was saying. He said, we want to get all those guys out first because it's going to take ages. And I said, order it from your channel. All right, fair enough. But yeah, because I've been on the on the fence of Red Storm for about a year, thinking, I know. And then when Howard brought out the solitaire dark blue defection, I thought, that's it.
Yep.
Sod it. Let's get them. So yeah. And
even though you promised me 6
I
months ago
know
that you were
promised
not getting anything else, Tony and Ruff got into this kick about 6 months ago because Heathrow suggested you play 3 games, you complete those 3 games, then you buy 1 new game. You play 3 more games. When you complete those, you buy 1 new game. And since then, Ruff has purchased probably 30 new games.
No.
Research for the channel, content for the channel.
We've got to keep new content going, and
the sacrifices we make.
Yeah, and I get a little bit of help from the subscribers. They donate little bit dribs and drabs here, and that's fantastic. You know, they help. And but yeah, you're quite right. You do need to keep the content going. And the only thing I said I was going to get was P500s. And to be fair, I reneged on that with Red Storm, but I'm glad I've got it. I mean, geez.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because technically, they were all on P500 at some point, so you still got a P500 game.
Oh, I like the way you're thinking. I like your thinking. Sexy Hexy.
Like a rules lawyer.
Yeah,
The Hexy's in the house.
What's going on, man? How's it going, Hex?
So yeah, and I'd start. You know what? It's bonkers. Have you, Richard?
Richard, where are you in Florida, Richard? I'm in Florida.
Oh, we got a new game player, or a new game partner, I should say.
Right. We get over this sickness pandemic and everything going on. Crazy.
Hey, Kyle had a comment. He said that it seems ludicrous for one turn. It sounds like it would be on your table for months on end about Bug River, going back to Bug River.
Yeah,
it is that's what we were talking about. We'd like to see some way of them, kind of streamlining that to make it faster. So that way a turn might only take you an hour and a half or something like that versus 7 or 8 hours, and it will move faster once you know the system, but it'll still be a few hours.
And it takes a longer time because, like yourselves with you and Kev, you were explaining the game and chatting and all this sort of thing, and I'm doing the same. But as it's going on, you're able to sort of do it quicker, and it does go quicker, but it's still a long game. And I think we're just going to get the box.
Richard's over in Clearwater. It's like 40 minutes from me.
Oh, there you go. You guys should hook up.
Yeah. I mean, there's several people that I know that have come in the chat that live in Florida. And
nice.
Richard's one of my lovely subscribers, and I love him. I love them all.
Oh, that's another drink.
Sorry. No, but I do. And there's nothing you can do about it, subscribers.
Because he loves you all.
Because I love you all.
Loves you all. Loves you all.
I'm trying to see how.
Richard's saying you name the game.
We're going to just start our own war game group down here. And
15 hours.
15 hours to play the game?
I assume the main scenario.
They're saying 15 hours for the main scenario?
Yeah.
The campaign game?
Yeah. I think it's like the GMT scales, isn't it? They're a little bit subjective.
Yeah. 15 hours. That's like
quite a bit subjective.
Okay. I'll be honest here. I would say 15 hours for the campaign. This is my initial impression. I would say knowing the game well, sitting down and putting a concerted effort to play it straight through. I would say you're looking more 25 to 30 hours. I think would be more in line. And that's knowing the game and moving along at a good pace.
But if people know that's the game,
sure,
they're going to make that choice and they want to play that sort of game. That's fine,
And it is a very good game. It just, I just wish
is.
the management aspect was a little faster. That's all.
But for other people, it might be just the thing they want. They want a long game. They want to roll dice. They want to, get into it. So there's no accounting for taste, is there, Mo? As we know.
That's true. I mean, a lot of people love die rolling. I mean, I love to roll dice too, but I want dice to. I don't know. I don't want to be rolling dice. Just it almost started after a while. It almost started feeling like Mother May I. I was like, okay, who can I use? How many, or what unit am I going to use? Okay, how far can I move? It almost felt like a roll to move, and I was just like, I hate that part.
I've got one action point.
What can I do with this guy?
What am I going to do with that then?
I'll dig in.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, and I mean, but that's again, that's the charm of the game, I suppose.
Sure.
If you're into it, hopefully from your videos and my videos, they'll get an idea whether or not it's for them, and that's the whole idea of these videos, isn't it?
Well, that's exactly, and like I said again, all credit to VUCA. They're listening, and they're listening to feedback, direct feedback. Unfortunately, I've not responded to their last email yet. Kev had emailed them. I hadn't sat down email because I got tied up with a bunch of other stuff, which I've been sidetracked with because it would be a long email. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to reach out to them and say, hey, let's name a time and place. Let's get together and do a video chat. I think it'd be a lot easier to exchange ideas back and forth. And then they can give me their reasons why they're going the way they're going. And that will give me a better insight into saying, yeah, my idea doesn't work the way, with what you're trying to do. So
yeah,
I think the back and forth would be great.
Yeah, the reason it does this is to simulate blah, blah, blah. And
exactly.
Sort of to do, and you're going, yeah, I suppose put like that. Yeah, I suppose it is a drag. Yeah, it's but yeah, it's great. It's great. They're
I love that they're listening because they want to improve. And if there's, because like they had that idea with the, hey, well, how about we just do the effectiveness check? And I thought about it for about, 2 minutes, and I was like, no, just have them go back to the 1 hex to retreat to 1 hex. And there's a negative modifier of some sort that will, impede that 1 unit. And then maybe they can't do a reaction on top of that. So that gives the attacker that just attacked them, forced them in there, gives them an incentive to keep attacking, to press the attack further. Yeah. So,
I mean, let them retreat once and get that penalty and everybody's disrupted. But then then you get that penalty of, right, no more, but you're going to have a penalty next turn because you're overstacked. So, yeah, that's good. And then they're pushing the attack. The attackers get a positive whatever DRM because they're overstacked or whatever. There's ways around it. But to be honest, I've never come across it. It must be the way you two play.
That's what I'm wondering, if they've never run into that, because I was
because you being a tanker, you're going tanks. You're going to go, aren't you?
Go right up there.
The tank up. Yeah.
Well, a bridge is a natural choke point, so I'm sitting there going, okay. The game is called Across the Bug River or Boog River. Why don't I just go up there and start attacking them as they're coming across the river, rather than just saying, "Come on in, fellas, water's fine."
Yeah, right. I couldn't do that. I had to catch them while they were trying to do the old. They made the bridge across, and they were moving around.
Pontoon bridges.
The pontoon bridge, and I thought, I'm going to get them as they come across the stream there, and it was, I think it's great, but I can understand both sides of the argument, whether or not we're playing that,
Well, that's how development ideas come together, and that's how games get better. So, hopefully that, and VUCA seems, like I said, they seem very open to that. So if anybody's played it and anybody has any feedback or anything like that, send it to them. They will listen, and that's really great. And that's how things improve.
It is, but I like the game the way it is. Because I
don't know, Hex, you don't seem to like those long games.
Yeah. It could be the worst game in the world, worst design, and Ruff would still love it. It doesn't matter. They can't take your word for anything.
Is it a long game, Hex? You'd love it. Lots of dice rolling. 7 hours for a turn. You're in your element there, mate. You love it.
Yeah, I think that's a game that Hex to Hex would.
Yeah.
No, he likes those short games.
He likes small maps, doesn't he? So
single map games that are played in an hour only.
Yeah. Well, it's a single map game played over 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good game. It's a good game.
No, it is. And that is, again, the components, Richard was saying that their components are fantastic. Yeah. They are. If you get the game, look at the map, get real close to the map and look. They even have the texture on the trees that just really is just gorgeous.
I do that on my videos just for the sake. So when I sort of zoom in for the combat, I just zoom in on the counters. I do it so I can zoom in on the map and see all the little. It's like a little frost, like a little what do they call it, watermark behind the with the trees. It's beautiful.
The beautiful map. Yeah. All right, Jester, you gonna chime in here? Or we just gonna run the show and keep carrying you?
I guess I just been here listening to you
I
two.
mean, it's your show. I'm just a guest.
You guys are having a good time talking about the boog. The boog, man.
I'm quite pleased you're calling it the boog because I was not told off. One of my subscribers said, actually, Ruff, it's not bug, it's boog. There's no sound in Slavic languages, so it's boog.
Yeah,
So,
no, but we say bug.
I know, but I'm now.
We'll call it the Boog River.
Yeah,
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Hey, Private Public's in the house. How you doing, Private? Good to see you.
What's going on?
If you guys are just joining us, I just want to remind everyone next Saturday. So, like literally 7 days from today is our second anniversary show. And we're going to be giving war games away, and our wives are going to be on the show. And it could be our last episode ever. So,
and I'll tell you what, they got some really cool games. I know that they're digging real deep into the library. Chutes and Ladders is going to be one of them. Ticket to Ride.
You're killing me. The wife is boarding her plane, so.
I was going to say something. That's a very popular game, isn't it? Ticket to Ride.
I wish I designed that. That's all I can say.
I was going to say, ching ching.
Yeah. Thing is sold what 7 million copies.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's like up there with Monopoly, isn't it? It's
yeah. You make one game that's like
one game you can retire.
Yeah.
Poor old war game designers have to keep doing it for the rest of their lives just to make ends meet. I mean, it's crazy, but we love them for it.
Yes.
But you have to be actually here to be part of the winning gameage.
Got to be in it to win it, as the saying goes.
There's no.
Sorry, I had to just text her back there to let her know. All right.
Tell her to get back, have a coffee, go into a cocktail bar, have a few cocktails. You'll see her at 6 o'clock.
Actually 5:20 is when her plane lands, so I have
to leave the house a couple of cocktails
by 5 o'clock. So that's why I was like, well, I think that's going to interrupt our show this week. So, but next week we should be back to normal time. So look forward to that.
How far is it to the airport from your house?
15 minutes.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's not too bad.
It's not.
No. You can make her wait till 6. Crikey. I don't know what the problem was. But anyway, too late now.
Well, and then the thing was she flew Southwest. And like Southwest is going through this. They've been posting all week that their pilots had like a, what do they call it? Not a strike, but they were not happy with their.
They were taking their PTO from what I understand.
So, yeah.
It wasn't like an official sick out.
The plane was actually going to show up at the airport tonight. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was the problem with that. And that they're saying now that that may expand further to other airlines.
Right.
Not really good going into the holiday season.
Right. Exactly. Right. Where are you at, Mo? You're in Central, right?
Yeah, I'm in near Dallas, north of Dallas.
Near Dallas. That's right. Yeah, near Dallas. Right. Okay. I knew that.
So DFW Airport would be mine.
I'm sorry?
DFW Airport would be my or Love Field, Southwest. If I fly Southwest, I go Love. If I fly American or anybody else, go over to DFW.
You guys had any conventions or anything this rest of the year? Or
wait till the UK?
I'm not talking to you, Ruff. I'm talking to.
No, shut up.
You don't have any cons over there? I mean, come on.
I think con he was going to go to, they canceled. So
they canceled.
So you have to wait till next year.
Yeah, and they're not big. They're you don't you think.
Well, you guys just had freaking Essen, right? Essen was last week.
That's all Euros.
That's I was going to say that's in Germany.
It's mostly Euros, right? But you have like the biggest game convention in the world over there. How do you guys not have
Euros?
Yeah, it's more of a trade show Euro thingy.
Yeah. If it was a war game thing, I'd be on the plane.
Yeah.
I'd fly dry, no problem.
What about going to Beotacon over in Spain? I think that's in February, March, something like
I'd
that.
have to go with Stuka because you'd have to
There you go.
translate for me.
I'd be in the same boat. I'd be like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't. I speak English. That's it.
I dare. Joking apart, most of them speak better English than I do Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
It's something I'm thinking about. I've got to get to something. I wanted to come over to your is it WBC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or was that the wrestling thing? No. That is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you say that's very small, but there's still hundreds of people there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I forget what the numbers are, like 600-800 or something like that. There, maybe more.
That's huge.
Oh no, yeah.
I mean,
CSW is the other one you want to go to.
Oh God, that's huge, though, isn't it? That's mega, isn't it? I'm going to come over one day.
No, it's just a couple hundred. I'm like, well,
is that one near you?
No, CSW in Tempe. There's like maybe 200 or so, in that 200 to 300 that ballpark. But it's also like a week long, so that's the benefit for you traveling that distance.
Come over for a holiday for a week, and
exactly.
Yeah, sounds great.
Nice.
Even Sweden, which is a beautiful country, has these conventions. I mean, we do have them over here, but they're mainly miniatures.
Oh yeah,
because that's where it all started. We are very
game designers workshop place thingy over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, one day I'm going to try and get over there.
Well, yeah, you should try to come.
Yeah.
Did you guys get your email from GMT? They finally decided to update their page with actually producing some games now. So they've got.
Did they send one today?
It's not their fault.
They're finally charging in final production.
I've got two of them.
GMT, Normandy 44 Tank Duel expansion at North Africa, Tank Duel expansion pack number 1, and Wing Leader Supremacy. So you guys getting any of those? Any of those interesting for you?
I have to look. I don't think I have any on there.
Hi, Dave. Dave's Gaming Cave is out.
Dave was here last week.
Dave.
We got a good chat with Dave.
I like that gaming cave.
I got a question for Dave. Did you update your page yet to link your wife's YouTube channel from your channel yet? Oh my gosh. If you haven't done that, Dave, I'm emailing your wife. That's it. I've given you a whole week to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, quite right, Gareth. Yeah, I think they still do run Second Chance, run something, but again, I think it's a lot of miniature stuff. I'm not sure. I have to check that out. I think I'm going to save me pennies, and come over to see you guys across the pond. I think next year, hopefully, fingers crossed.
So you want to cross the Boog River?
Boog River, yeah.
The flight will probably be about as long as a turn.
I know.
I had to throw that in there.
No, stop it.
Oh my God. There we go.
Did
I had to. Yeah.
Shots fired. Oh,
no.
You know what?
It's
like thinking about these games, it reminds me of my granddad, he didn't say a lot, but he was, I think he was part of the BEF that went across in the first part of the war and was pushed back at Dunkirk. And he was actually evacuated, and he said it was a bit of a hairy time. And he was on a small boat, one of the private boats that everybody pushed across. One of the big Navy boats, a little boat, and he got a seat on it. But he had to go and relieve himself. God knows where, probably over the side. So he got up, and he came back. And in the interim, somebody had sat in his seat. And when he came back, that guy had been shot.
Oh.
Yeah, it was gone. And from that moment on, this is true. From that moment on, he always said, if you're going to go, it's got your name on it. It's got your name on it. And he told everybody about this, but it did upset his neighbours, Mr. and Mrs. Doodlebug.
Look at Chester's face.
See what I've been putting up with for 2 weeks or for 2 years? You see what I've been putting up with? Oh my God.
That first bit was true. I just tagged on the end bit. I thought it was quite funny, but obviously not because it's British humour. You see.
I need to get a sound effects. Mo, do you have a sound effects board? I need.
You know what?
I need a sound effects board because
You know what?
I need like crickets chirping.
V1,
Ruff
yeah.
thinks he's funny, and nobody knows what the hell he's talking about. I could play the little cricket sound.
The Doodlebug was the flying bomb, the V1. That's what we called it, the Doodlebug.
We
Really?
don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh,
We don't have doodlebugs over
That's
here.
why it was lost on you.
Yeah, it was totally lost on us. Just
They were called the Doodlebugs.
right over the head. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Way over our head.
That's interesting.
Well,
No,
maybe
that's
somebody
another piece of
from over here will give a little snigger for it and thank you.
nice
Yeah.
a snigger.
Oh my God.
because it satisfies.
It's not a Snickers, a snigger. And I got the ump because you guys changed it from a marathon. We used to call them marathons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you did too.
The marathon bars, the
Snicker.
caramel one.
Snickers.
No,
Yeah.
a Snicker is a Snicker bar, and then there was a marathon bar, which I've never seen it in years, and it was caramel and chocolate.
No. We had a bar called Marathon with peanuts in it.
Yeah, and the Snickers here. in
No,
the States,
then no, we were happy with it called the Marathon Bar. And then
Okay.
you guys had to change it to Snickers.
Well, yeah, we call it Snickers.
Yeah.
Because Snickers
we-
satisfies.
We just, our whole existence is just trying to make things better that you guys do. That's all we. That's all. That's our whole. The United States existence is basically take everything that Brennan does and make it better.
Oh no! Your whole
We'll
thing
just rename it.
is never forgive us. That's what it is. For having.
We love the mother country. We love the mother country.
I know.
Yes, we love the mother country.
Mark, thank you. Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
The Twix bar
marathon
was
bar.
called Raider till the mid '90s.
Wow. Okay.
That's-
Dave is getting ready
always-
for some
that's
Civil
American.
War action here. And
Oh,
it looks
good.
like he's going to be playing Battle Hymn Volume 1 by Eric Lee Smith.
Nice.
That's the Compass game one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you like your, and I like your name there, Dave's Gaming Cave.
He's got a really nice game.
It's got yeah.
That is cool.
You know what's really nice about it? It's not all cluttered like Ruff's and Tony's. He had a really nice looking game.
Homely. He's homely, isn't he? Homely.
Homely.
Now,
It looked
what does
it
homely
looks
mean
normal.
over in Britain?
Homely means sort of
Lived in?
cozy and nice.
Oh, okay.
And,
Homely in
and-
the States means something totally different.
oh, does it? Oh shit! It's like Doodlebug. You ain't got a clue. I work hours on these jokes, and they go, "What's a Doodlebug?" And anyway,
Homely here is like, the pleasant way to say it would be if you're saying like a person is homely looking, be it male or female. It's like that's like saying they're kind of unfortunate looking.
plain. They're inbred.
Yeah, more like unattractive.
You get a lot of that over there, don't you?
Beat with the fugly stick.
Yeah.
Give me
Give me 6. Yeah, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, homely over here means it's sort of cozy, comfy.
See, in the States, we call it homey.
No, homey is somebody that lives in the hood.
No. That's the slang, but a homey means it's like like it's got that down home feel to it.
It's
Really
homey,
nice,
yes.
cozy.
It's very.
Then
it's
you
like
say
your
homey.
It's like your grandma's house.
Yes.
You go to
It's like,
grandma's
that's
house.
really
it's
really homey.
It's
Yeah,
what
no,
we're
home-
used to.
See, what you do is you mess up English words that have been around since time began, and miss out letters and things. Homely means comforting,
See,
reassuring.
homey means it's homey, like homely over there in Britain.
Yeah, homely means it's.
But then
a
if you go homie, it means you're my homie. You're from where I live.
anyway, home is nice.
How does this have anything to do with war games?
I don't know.
Because
I was
Dave's
gonna
saying
normally
is
when Ruff and Tony
homely.
get off on a tangent, I just
Homely.
I'm just recovering from sickness, so please forgive me. I normally step in and
Yeah, you're beat
things.
down today, so we're just carrying it. Like I said,
keep the good guy down.
And after getting beat down by the
here
wind,
he is.
here comes Kev.
Wait a minute. Here comes Kev.
Oh,
He's already trying to win free games from us here at the show next week. Even though it's October 23rd, we're going to be giving away games to all of our wonderful guests.
are we giving away a car?
I didn't think we were, but it sounds like we are giving away a car.
For Kev, we're giving away the new Tesla. It's wind driven.
And he's moved down to your part of the woods.
Kev will appreciate that based on his earlier video, which man, I feel his pain. We were talking about you, Kev.
It's wind driven. I get it.
Yes, wind driven.
Dude, I got it.
That
Never
was
open that window when it's too hot outside.
That's like having a cat and letting it free in your war game room. It's like,
right.
Yeah, that is like having a mad pack of cats, isn't it?
Yeah.
Leaving the window open. You fool.
But it was not good, all that setting up, and then the wind comes along. It's nothing more frustrating than
the thing is, when that happens, I've not had it happen to that degree, but when it happens, when you knock things over on you can never find the things you've knocked on the floor. It's like they disappear from existence.
It's true.
I don't know what happens there. Something sort of, I don't know, weird. Space.
Fall into that Bermuda Triangle called the rug.
You heard it fall there, and you look, and it's just gone.
It fell right here, but you didn't count the bounce.
Mo, what you been playing?
Me, nothing lately. I have not been playing anything. The last thing I played was, Bug River with Kev, which we were talking about. Kev, you missed all that. We were having a good long chat about.
No, it's great. Yeah.
The Boog River. And but I've been so busy with other stuff, I have not played anything. I've been going on about a bunch of things, and one of the things that you guys will be happy to hear is the Vassal module for Battle of Armageddon is in development.
Excuse me.
I saw Kev talking about that during his show earlier. He mentioned Armageddon,
nice.
And he said that Mo's been trying to get us to maybe get together and get a wicked game of this going. So maybe I'll have to pick this up.
Yeah.
I don't notice, Mo. You're waiting on the guy doing the thing, doing the Vassal module, aren't you? So
Oh well, I mean, no, I know for a fact that is in progress. I know that for a fact. So there are multiple Vassal modules being developed right now for Compass. So I think people will be real happy with that. So
and don't make excuses not to play us. It's not me that I've the ump with or Tony. They'll go, we'll play. We don't want to play with that Jester because he's just
so Jester, he's gonna wimp out. You're saying?
No. I think because he's aggressive, as we call it, assertive.
Oh, assertive.
I am not assertive. What are you talking about?
I
go with the flow. I just
excuse me.
I just go with the flow. Oh,
he's homely.
Hey, OG, good to see you, my friend.
Yeah.
But we look forward to, it's one of those games where you can just have fun.
Yeah.
And just,
talk smack,
try to kill one another. And,
it'll have to be like, I think need to be one of those, maybe a Friday evening game or something like that, because we could just be like, it would be like After Dark, because there'll be language being thrown around, there'll be alcohol involved, and there'll be a lot of silliness and good fun.
That's it. I think
it's not cricket. It's not cricket.
No, it's actually enjoyable.
That's what I'm yes.
Although I hear cricket is very popular, and believe it or not, we are getting a cricket thing here in Allen, Texas, which I was like
20
huge in Texas.
20 over cricket is fun because you got 20 overs, 6 balls and over, and you decide at the end of that who's won. Yeah, and it's all it's all that. Yeah, you're going for it.
I bring up like one sporting event and I get blasted for it, and then every week Tony and Ruff are talking cricket and football and
Well,
all
what
kinds
sporting
of
event
stuff.
did you bring up?
The Ohio State football game that was on.
Oh, okay.
I think I mentioned something about because
college
Tony
football?
Tony lives in Ohio and I used to live in Ohio, so we were talking about it, and Ruff's like, football, that's not really football.
Over here it's football. Over there it's footy. So
It's football. Over here it's football.
but you call it footy though.
All right,
that's
so the question is, who do I like, the Red Sox or the Astros?
Richard, don't start him off.
I think, who do I want to win, or who do I think is going to win the series? I think it's going to come. I think the Astros are going to take the series in 6 games, maybe 5. I think Boston's been pretty lucky so far, but I'm still going for the underdog Braves to beat the Dodgers. Mark it down right here, right now. Braves beat the Dodgers.
Nice. So
And the
Kev is
reason
saying
I'm
that's
saying
the
that
Stars
now
game?
is because I did a baseball preview show before the season started, and my World Series was Braves, Yankees. So it's not going to be the Yankees, we know that. But I still have a shot at my Braves ending up in the World Series like I predicted.
Ruff is reading the Red Storm rules.
Who stopped?
I'm stopped. See? He sits there and talks for cricket like 10 minutes, and it's okay. Oh, my gosh. You're killing me.
So back to war games.
War game? Is this a war game show? Oh, shit. What did I get
Brian was
myself
saying that
into?
with the Revolution game October sale, he decided to dip his toes into the ACW with Herman Lutman's blind sword system.
Which one have you got? Oh, that's the
I think he bought a mall that they had multiple.
I've got the Kernstown, which is based on Herman's blind sword system, but not designed by him. What's the other one in that series? Thingy Attacks, I think.
Thingy Attacks.
Who's the
Thingy
guy
Attacks.
that attacked?
Godzilla
Is that British slang again that we're
No.
supposed to
The guy that attacked, he shouldn't have done, but he did.
The Day Was Ours.
No, Somebody Attacks.
Longstreet Attacks, that one?
Longstreet, yes. Longstreet Attacks, yeah.
Kernstown. I'm just flipping through the page
Yeah,
here.
I've got
There's Longstreet
Kernstown.
Attacks down here.
And
And-
yeah. So
Thunder
I
in
think
the
Longstreet
Ozarks.
was Herman's.
Did you do a lot of P500s, Mo?
Not really. Not anymore. I used to, but I haven't done that too many of the P500s really. So if there's a game out there that I want, I'll get it when it comes out. But
Is there
generally,
anything you're looking forward to that's coming out soon?
Mr. President, I'm really curious to see how that's going to actually be
Mhm.
because it's a solitaire game and it's not necessarily a war game, but I do like the idea of a political simulation. So I'm curious how that's going to be.
It looks really cool as well.
It does.
And
Even though it's just
that's from our guy, Mike Bertatelli.
He's the developer on it, yeah.
And Tony's doing a little
Play testing.
pre-play testing with them.
Nice.
For that. So,
And then of course Vietnam.
I just haven't got a clue what's going on
Who?
with Mr. President. What's the
Your guess is
Congress
as good as mine.
What? So
he doesn't understand what he's saying. So let me interpret. Ruff doesn't understand our
Political system.
political system.
Yes.
So when we start talking about House of Representatives and
Congress, it all sounds very
Congress
Roman.
and Senate and all this,
It's
he
very
has no
Roman.
idea what they do.
Well, he's used to parliamentary style. So
Yeah, we elect MPs, members of parliament, for each area in the country.
Mhm.
And whoever wins, if they get enough control, they control. They have a majority. So it looks cool. I must admit, but the only thing that's put me off being a Brit is what's going on. So
don't they have another one coming out too, Mr. Prime Minister or something like that.
Yeah, but that's set back in the day, isn't it? We want one with,
Yeah.
with catch and
more modern.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, more modern thing, you know. So
Which Thatch? Is that what you call her? Thatch?
yeah, she's known affectionately for people that love and hate her as Thatch. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So the besides Mr. President, anything else that's kind of tickling your fancy, Mo?
On the P500,
Yeah.
that one, and then of course Vietnam, and then anytime Mitch comes out with another next war game, and of course there is the expansion for Stalingrad 42.
Yeah.
Simonich is, those two are auto buys in my opinion. Simonich and Land, those two guys are great, and they're the ones really that are GMT's kind of slid away from the hex and counter, so they're doing more of the Euro style games.
Yeah.
And that's really where my interest is, the hex and counter. So it really, if Mitch or Mark comes out with something, it's like, oh, I'm definitely in on that. I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen with the next war. He's working on finishing up that second edition of Poland, because that's what's going to dictate the expansion, the third expansion. So I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
I heard Kev saying today when he was doing his show on purchasing from Compass Games, and I've been I don't normally ever talk negative about anything or anybody.
Really?
Right, it's true. But I just haven't had the greatest experience with Compass Games. But
you had a what?
I haven't had great success with Compass Games. I don't like their the few games that I have gotten didn't seem like as good quality as some of the other game companies out there. But I heard Kev say today during his when he was going through his Compass game list and things he was going to mention, and Compass Games is really stepping up their production and everything. So I just wondered if you've gotten any Compass games recently, and what you think, what your thought is on.
Has he got any Compass games?
I've got one or two.
Yeah, that's the only company I have. Well, it's one of the companies I haven't got any games from,
really,
mainly because of the price. When they get over here, they're like bonkers. And I am waiting for Carrier. And you keep going on about NATO, and that's sold out over here. But the price has put me off. But what do you think?
NATO is fantastic. Obviously, I'm biased there. I really like that game. But as far as now, what Compass games have you gotten in the past that you felt negative about?
Well, for example, I will show you. No, I don't have it here.
They're earlier games, aren't they? That's
I was going to say, was it an earlier game?
I can't even think of what it like Paths to Hell. All right.
Yeah.
Smaller counters. The maps seem to be less quality. And even the thinner, like they're like on the, I don't know what they call it, poster board or whatever, but it seemed like thinner poster board. I just don't see, that their quality, or they just didn't seem like to me they were putting enough effort into making things better,
Well, that game's 3 or 4 years old.
That's an older one, right?
Yeah,
I realize that's
which is not,
right.
It's not that old, but it is older. In terms of how they've really stepped up their production. Their production has really stepped up past 2.5, 3 years. It's really gotten better, especially in the last 2 years.
That's what I'm,
and it's fantastic now.
It's been a couple of years, and I kind of put them on my I got a list of do not buys, right? And then at the very top is DVG, and then right under them was Compass. And I like to hear positive things from people about.
Well, wait a minute. How is GMT not up there if DVG is up there? If you're going to get DVG up there because they have bad card backs, different colored card backs, well, I guess you would say GMT is bad too, because Algeria. Just saying.
Are Compass Games more expensive? He says, moving along, wash. Are
Look at
Compass
Chester.
Games
Hey, wait, did his internet freeze?
Yes, his internet.
Are Compass Games more expensive over your
They
side?
are. They are more expensive. And that's primarily because they print in the U.S. So
Not all. They
just
still
like
they print
MMP.
a lot. They print a lot.
Which I've been bitching
Mexico.
for a year that why these companies say, oh, we can't get anything printed, but yet Compass can get things printed because they're
Yeah.
not shipping everything they own to China.
Yeah, they do print some things in China, but
Mounted
primarily they print in the U.S. But the problem is when you're printing in the U.S., just like you see with MMP, the price does go up. So
Yeah. And
there
of
is a
course,
cost.
time it gets over to us, there's that little bit more
Exactly.
hands-on. And I don't begrudge it. It's just the way of the world. But
Yeah.
It's instead of $69, you spend $79. Isn't it worth it?
no. Instead of spending $69, you spend $120. It's a little bit. I mean, look at combat over here. What's that? £120. It's a big jump. I'd love to try them. It's nothing against the pricing or whatever. That's
yeah.
it is, but it's a lot of money.
Well, the thing is, you add in that price that does that can be a detractor for people, and I understand that. I totally understand that, but that's where you catch their sales. Like right now, they're going to be running that sale where they send out the newsletter and all that stuff, so you can save your money and get.
We can't benefit from that. That's the problem as well.
Yeah, once you account shipping and everything else, it's a
And
lot.
again, I'm not knocking it. It's just how it is.
See here's how to fix that. Get on a plane, and I'm not kidding.
I was going to say,
get on a plane.
you
Come over to Compass Expo,
and you come over.
to Compass Expo where they sell their games at a deep discount during Compass Expo, and bring a second suitcase.
Yeah, and then
spend all your money, boom, and then just take it home.
Don't tempt me, because that's what I'll probably do.
And it's next
one of
month.
those flat pack suitcases. So I can put it in the first one.
Next month, Compass Expo in Connecticut.
I can't get over there. Crikey. Unless I do a Kickstarter.
I
do a 2-week Kickstarter.
I would like to get another Compass game, to be honest, and try and see if their production is gone better.
Oh, their production. I've been a couple of the videos I've done of their stuff. I mean, I just did Granada, I should say. The Granada game, which is a derivative of the Sekigahara system.
That looks gorgeous, doesn't it?
It's beautiful. It really is a beautiful production. So, I mean, it's literally on par with what you see with Sekigahara. The only difference is instead of the big chunky blocks, it's narrower blocks. That's it. Which I kind of like in a way a little bit more because they're easier to stack. The Sekigahara blocks get a little ridiculous. I mean, it's because they're so big and chunky.
All I can say is, thank goodness I don't live over there. Because I'd go bonkers. I really would. Because there's Worthington, there's Compass, there's some GMT. I just go. Now over here, I have to sort of go.
And the other thing too is with Compass, they have maintained a steady release, schedule, a couple games every year, or every month throughout the year. Every year, exactly. Every month throughout the year. So they've had a pretty steady schedule. They're slowing it down here towards the end of the year with just like one a month. They do those shows. John does a show every week, and twice a month he has a show with Bill. So everything's very, open. They explain everything to people. They answer questions right on the spot. So
you see, that's
they
the other
really.
thing.
What's that?
They're the only company I know that bring out these things regularly.
Yes.
Lock and Load used to be top of the form for that as well. I'm not sure what's going on. Not seen a live
I think they've been busy with stuff.
While, but they used to do that, and that's the way to get people, draw your customers in, get them involved, and get them excited. So Compass,
Well, I think that's good news. I really do. I mean, the more good companies out there.
Let me ask you this question: what other recent games are you interested in, or have you looked at and said, that's an interesting?
I just picked up 2 games from Worthington Games because I heard good things from Worthington, and I picked up a couple, and I'm really impressed with Worthington Games. So they're on my checklist for check out these games because they seem pretty good.
But what Compass game? What Compass games? 1 or 2 games have you been interested in?
I see. I
That you've
haven't
seen.
looked at any recently because
Ah.
they're on my list right underneath DVG, on the do not buy list. So I heard Kev say that earlier,
Mhm.
and I've heard you guys, when you do your live streams, you've mentioned and talk with them, and I've kind of heard some good things. So then I'm thinking to myself, maybe maybe there's something wrong with me because maybe
Give him a
I'm
go.
just
Give
wrong.
him a go.
So that's why I wanted to talk with you about that, because I'm like, yeah, Mo would be the guy to ask about this, because
Yeah.
I just, I don't like bad mouthing. Yeah, I'm Mr. Positive. I always see the good in everything. And so I like to see a
So you're saying you
positivity.
love all your games?
Oh, cheers.
No, I'm not saying I love all my games. I'm not a rough junior, but I will admit when things are wrong. Like I actually
It was right there. I had to take a swing at it.
Yeah,
I
I
was
know. Well done.
I ripped GMT for their shoddy expansions for
You
Wing
tell it
Leader.
like it is, Jester. We get it. You tell it like it is, and you're honest about it. You're not out there.
Right. That's all I try to be, is just
Mhm.
honest in my opinion. Some people
Sure.
might agree, some people might disagree. I think I like to hear the Compass games, so I will probably, that's why I was watching when Kev was doing his thing earlier. It
Yeah.
was like, I want to find out about these games because I haven't looked at any of their games in a long, long time.
Yeah, I would
What do you think of
definitely.
MMP? How was their quality compared to MMP?
They're better than MMP.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, MMP uses, and this is not a slight to MMP. It's just that it's just the reality of it. They use the same counter art pretty
They
much
have-
for every game.
They have a set
They use the
way
same
of
map
doing
art. So it's like almost like rehashing the same game. They just kind of adjust it.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that in a negative way. It's just that their systems use the same type of graphics and art and everything. They just kind of readjust it and switch it around a little bit to, match the theater, and then they release it. So none of the games don't have individual. They don't have like an individual identity.
Yeah.
You look at a coin game or something, it's a coin game. You look at Granada, you're like, oh, that's a block game. That's a really cool looking block game. It looks like Sekigahara, so on and so forth. Where you see an MMP game, you're like, okay, how many counters are on that? Oh, that's an SCS game. Yeah, there's a lot of counters. That's an OCS game.
Yeah, they've got some great games, MMP.
They do, yes.
They haven't, and I think that's their mentality. You like what you like, this is what we do, and this, if you don't like it, sod it, and that's fine.
Yeah,
and you get, what you're getting. But with other game companies, I think they've realised it's the 21st century, and each game has to have its own identity, has to be a little different from this other game. Okay, if it's a series, they have a look like the next series.
Exactly.
That has a look, but you know what you're getting. But I think and you're not going to tell them because they've been doing it since time began. But I think they are missing out. Web
and I saw when Kev was doing his thing that there are several solitaire games, which was good to see as well.
For
Compass, when he was doing his Compass
from
thing.
Compass,
yeah. They got several.
Greg Smith
games.
is like he's like I don't think he's human. I think he's cyborg. The dude puts out, he has so many titles that are going through Compass right now, and he's got, if you played the Hunters, have you ever played that?
Oh yeah.
He designed that, and he uses that same type of system, and he's expanded it out to do different things.
Greg comes from another dimension and planet.
Yes.
We've had him on the show. The man is bonkers. He is entertaining to listen to. What he hasn't done is another tanker and all, isn't he? So
he's got American Tank Ace coming out.
Yeah, but he's a tanker, isn't he?
Yes, he's a tanker.
Come back from the future with the games that were already produced and put his name on it. So
he could be doing that. He's a time traveler.
We did ask him to do. I wanted to do a space sci-fi one. He went, I'll just make a note of it. And he made a note of it.
Yeah.
Because
he'll if he comes up with an idea, he'll just be like, whoop.
Yeah.
Because he had the Atlantic Sentinels game. He was just like, he posted up on Facebook. Oh, I figured out how to make the system work. He just kind of came up with it while walking a dog or something like that.
Yeah.
And the inspiration hit him. So he's trying to figure out names for the game. And I said, how about Atlantic Sentinels? Because you're supposed to be the convoys watching over the convoys. That's what these ships are. So that's what I went with. So I was like, yeah.
But this
Wow.
and they're
That's
not everybody's cup of tea because they're narrative driven dice rolling things.
Exactly.
And I understand. Oh, but I love it. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. I'm out of drink already. Good
When
Lord,
I heard him say I just grabbed my drink.
Yeah. I'll give you fair warning.
automatic now. Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, they're not
We're
for
going to
every-
talk to Ruff's wife next week to find out how many times Ruff tells her, I love you in a week,
Oh,
because he says it 18 times during our 2-hour episode.
When you see my wife,
imagine how many times he says it to his wife.
when you see my wife, you'll think, my God, she must have bad eyes.
You know, Kev also mentions
you're punching way above your weight, Ruff. What happened there? Have you got some sort of blackmail thing going on here?
I think so.
Kev was saying he was saying it goes beyond the series style. It's standard format for all the mapping, and that's going back to the MMP, which is very true. And it's not a slight on MMP. It is not. No. It's just that's their style. That's what they go with.
And people who love it.
Yes, and it's one of those things where it's like it's all the same. It's not as attractive as if they made things look different. And then you look at some of their Last Stand, which is one of their international game system games, and that was made by somebody else. That's a beautiful map, and you look at that and you're like, wow, that's damn nice. Hey, Hathwell, how's it going? So if they could do that with some of their games, I think it would be a little better. Like make OCS look different, make it look one way, make SCS look a different way, so on and so forth. Do something like that. I think would make it a lot more appealing, because we like visual. We're visual. We like nice looking maps,
and I think that's the problem. I mean, you need to bring guys and girls in, don't you?
True.
And
I think they get this mentality of, once we get you hooked on our game, it doesn't matter. Or I'm sorry, once we get you hooked on the series, it doesn't matter what the game looks like, because the series, you're going to want to buy the game anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because they've been doing the same thing with ASL for how many years?
Well, yeah.
These graphics haven't changed since
ASL's graphics. It's like, oh my God, 16-bit graphics. I mean, let's come on, man.
This is the thing. It no matter what company it is, if you're into a series, if you're into a thing, they can do no wrong, and you're going to buy everything they bring, and that's fine. That is fine. And ASL is a great, example. The things look the same as when my dad bought Squad Leader. They look the same, apart from being mounted boards. But they're not going to change. What's that?
Warriors of Japan.
Where was the comments here? Warriors of Japan was left field for its graphics. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I got this, was because I was like, this is super cool looking. It's actually like Japanese styled counters and everything. And just the format looks like,
when they do make an effort, it's brilliant.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the games that I end up getting are usually the ones I see that go, oh, that looks really good. Whether the subject matter really interests me or not is kind of secondary to like how it looks and how well it's going to play.
Yeah. But going back to what I was saying with Compass, figure out a game. Seriously, figure out a game that you're interested in.
Well, give me one. What should I look at?
Oh, there's many.
Well, there's a bunch. I mean, there really is a bunch of games that have come out recently. Obviously, my first one I'm going to recommend is NATO, because that's just a fantastic.
You love that modern games.
I love modern games. Yeah, I love modern
1980s and
do you love it?
Yeah. I remember last time we talked, you were the guy that was like, all
I love it. Shut up. Do you love it, Mo?
I love it. I already beat you.
Great. Cheers. That's all I wanted.
Oh my gosh.
I like it. I love it. I want more of it. No, but and it's true. I mean, I do love modern stuff. That's why like Next War series I think is fantastic, and the NATO series, or not NATO series, but NATO, and then you got Air and Armor coming out from Compass as well. And with the number of war games that are coming out from Compass, they've just rapidly moved to the top of the heap for me. They just are consistently coming out with just hex and counter war games, and that's what I want. The other stuff I'm not really as interested in.
What
So-
about the reprint of the Korean War?
Korean War, what about it?
I've got the original, and
Uh-huh.
there were some problems with counters and nonsense with that. Yeah,
What
but they made
happened
the
with
counters
that?
bigger and the maps bigger.
Yeah, well, that's yeah. They have you can go with 4 maps on that, which is a definite. You need a lot of space for that. But when it came to the counters, what happened was they were trying to go from the standard thin white core counters to the thicker counters. They went with a printer for that, and they only used them for one time for that game. And there were some problems, and I had the same problem as well, where some of the prints were offset. There was a little shift in the print, so there was offsetting on the print where it's off to the left or right or whatever. And all you had to do was just email Compass, and they sent you out the original, which was the thinner counters, and I got those instead. And I'm actually happier because I like those better than the thicker counters, but I do love the thicker counters as well.
Like thin counters anyway.
I mean, I do like those myself, but I also do appreciate and like the thicker counters. Like in NATO, they have the thicker counters, so those are really good, and they fall right out of the little.
They shrink wrap
counter
them,
sheet.
don't they? So,
Yes, they have to, because otherwise they fall out.
Wow.
No, that's the only
I like
thing I've
that.
seen.
Yeah.
That's because I've got
I
the
like
original.
Yeah.
And I've asked, is there any difference? Yes, they tied it up.
Yeah, they changed some of the rules. They
Hey,
changed
Dan.
some of the rules up, and that is actually another Vassal module that's under development as well.
Yeah.
So
Did Compass do their Vassal before, or are they just something new for them?
what's that?
Did Compass do their Vassal modules for their games in the past, or
Oh no, they have. They
Okay.
just they haven't been as consistent with getting them out. So
okay,
that's getting changed. So
okay.
Private
So
public-
are they doing it themselves, or are they just authorizing people out there on the internet to? do
just
it
like
for
any other
them?
company, you just have people do it for you.
Okay. I wasn't
Private
sure.
Public says there were
But
minimal.
it's not like every other company. Go check out DVG.
Shut up. Private Public says there are minimal playthroughs of NATO out there. Makes him nervous about getting it. But you've done some AARs. I'm not a great fan of AARs. But yeah, quite right. There's not been many sort of playthroughs. So, John, if you're listening, send me it. I'll do a playthrough.
Well, go to my channel, and
You've done some
I've
stuff, I don't know.
got 1 or 2 NATO videos.
I know.
I've got the AARs I've done, which I did one for Baltab, one for a strategic surprise scenario, and then also a couple interviews with Bruce. And then there's a learn to play that I did with Bruce as well, where a couple of those where we went through the Baltab scenario and he explains how the game works with the first intro scenario, which is Baltab. So that one is definitely the one you want to watch, because that scenario is about maybe an hour that'll take you to play. Possibly shorter. Depends on if you can get Copenhagen or not. If you don't get that, well, it's going to be pretty short, most likely, because that's the big thing, is the Copenhagen Gammon. If you can get into Copenhagen fast for the Soviets, for the Warsaw Pact, then you get that foothold. Then you can really hammer on getting those victory points, those cities. If you don't, you got to go up the neck into Denmark, and it becomes more of a slog, and it's going to be tough to do inside of 7 turns. So that's one thing to check out. And then the other is the first turn of the strategic surprise scenario. Bruce does it, and he's explaining everything as he does it. So it's about an hour long. And then there's a second video on that that's about a 20-30 minute discussion where him and Fred Schwartz, his developer, talks in pretty good depth as far as different aspects of the game. So that should help you out right there if you want to check that out on my channel. Not to take anything away from Jester's channel or anything, but
no,
that's why I
channel,
mentioned,
man. I mean, it's good info. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
now
Go check out Mo's channel.
the thing is, Mo, I know you love NATO. I know you love Next War.
Mhm.
What makes them? What I'm trying to say is Next War, NATO. Why are they? What's different? Why should one pick one against the other? Or pick them both? Or
don't
I
pick
know
one or
one's
the other.
80s,
Buy them both.
I know one's 80s. I know one's tomorrow.
Yeah.
But why should people spend money on both systems?
Well, NATO is, if you're into a fictional World War III, a hypothetical World War III between NATO and the Warsaw Pact, NATO is one to get. You can play it all out in a day, or, or a few hours. If you want to check out near future things that could very well happen, like we were talking earlier about Taiwan, next war is what you want to check out, because Mitch has gone in and he's got this system and he just keeps using it for different situations that could very well become flashpoints at any time. India, Pakistan, Vietnam, Taiwan, Korea, so on and so forth, Poland. All these things are, real possible flashpoints. So it's nice to have those games to game out a situation if that went hot, if a situation went hot, versus just, hey, what happened in World War II or whatever. So
what if? Yeah. So what makes NATO? The reason I'm asking this, because I'm thinking, do I spend my bloody money?
You cannot get NATO.
I know I can't.
You are not authorized to purchase
you can get
any
NATO
games for the rest of the year.
What makes NATO better than some of the other what if Cold War on hot shit?
I think really, for me, NATO, what I like about it is there's a great tempo to the game. There's different aspects to it. Like, you're not only going up and you're fighting each other, just running up units and hitting each other, but there's a pacing to it as well. Like for strategic surprise, for example, you basically, Warsaw Pact just moves all their units up to the border. And then for NATO, you've got to roll dice to see how many hexes you can move each country up to the border.
There's different.
It's their staggered response, because it's like Warsaw Pact is going to jump over the border. They're going to attack. So they've got the upper hand. That's why it's called strategic surprise. So they're running up to the border. NATO goes, oh crap, they really are serious. They are going to fight. And then the die rolls will actually give an idea of, it kind of randomizes the response of each of the different countries as far as how fast they can get up. Red Storm would be another one if you like the air war.
Private Public. Have I played Red Storm yet?
I have not played it yet myself, but
go on.
I like that. So NATO and Iron Curtain is SCS with a lot of adjustments. Plus, the benefit for Iron Curtain over NATO is you have multiple eras covered. So that is a big strength for Iron Curtain versus NATO. NATO is going to be 83, 88. Iron Curtain is going to be from 46, 47 all the way to 88, 89. So that is another cool game to get if you want that, because it just expands on a system that a lot of people already know, SCS. So, but I would strongly recommend.
You have a love for modern day,
yes,
conflicts, but you also love Hex Encounter. So where do you stand on Labyrinth?
What do you mean? Where do I stand on it?
I mean, is that something that you find, that you play, or is that like?
Oh yeah, no, it's an interesting game. It's an interesting game. It's that I would put in the coin era, or the coin,
basically coin
category.
Junior,
yeah. It's like the pre-coin. Say change. I don't know. It's a hay penny. But it would be. It's a great way of doing a 2-player. One person is going to be, I guess you'd say, NATO or the US, and then the other player is going to play out the jihadist. But that is very abstract, very high level, which it makes it easier, I think, and more playable. But if you want Hex Encounter, it's tough to get a Hex Encounter game on that subject. So having an abstract game when you're fighting terrorism is a lot easier to do than Hex Encounter.
Right.
Because you're not going to get, those guys aren't going to get.
Have you tried in solitaire? Because I got it in the GMT sale, and I've been wanting to try and get it on the table because Tony's been raving about it. Like he says, Tony said that it was his most played game ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they have it on Steam too.
Yeah. Do you see what we're doing, Mo? We're picking your brain.
Yeah.
That's why he's here. Because
I would say Steam would be the way to go, because you can play it.
Steam, huh?
Yeah, you can play it digitally, so you can play it against the computer, so you don't have to worry about running a bot or playing both sides. I rarely play bots unless they're very simple bots, because it's like, I'm not going to go through flowcharts. It's like, by the time I get to the end, I'm like, all right, that's what he's going to do. I could have just figured it out in 10 seconds. I could have just done that.
I like flowcharts to do the thinking for me. I love them. Random events, I love
Oh
them.
my God.
It's just like
he
coin.
loves it again.
It's just like coin. I just
So you're not a coin. I mean, you're not. What's your thought on coin system? I mean,
Did
the
you
coin
get
system.
burnt out?
It's a cool system. And I had
burnt
I
out
had them
on
all. What's that?
You got burnt out on.
Yeah,
Burnt
I mean, I've been there, done that, and I'm done with it. It's become. It just feels like it's the same game almost every time with different. It's reskinned, rethemed. There's some differences, obviously, and they each do have their own identities. But it's like, okay, I'm not getting anything out of them anymore. So I played enough to where I'm like, okay, and it's also it's also the more Euro style, which is not me. I want hex encounter, I want kinetic fighting.
You want a traditional war
game.
game.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the only one I'm excited about? Because coin, like me, like you, it's like it blocks and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's that Mars one. Are you still excited about that?
Yeah, not really. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of done with coin.
That'll be my first coin game, but it's set on Mars.
It's your first one. There you go. Then you'll enjoy
Mars.
it. Yeah.
But and have you started to read Red Storm rules?
No.
They're bonkers.
Red Storm rules. Oh, you're talking about those rules. I'm sorry. We went from coin to Red Storm rules.
Sorry,
I was like, what?
Sorry, that's on my mind. I've started to read them.
That's what he does. Nobody know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I assume everybody knows what I'm thinking about. So I started to read them and I understand every fifth word. So I'm hoping to read bonkers. But
it's
game.
That's why I think that expansion will really help because it's solitaire driven and it's kind of teaches you in pieces. So you'll be able to kind of take in the whole game in chunks, which is great.
So I'm going to read the rules, understand a fifth of them, and then because Howard did do a post on Ball Game Geek itemizing every scenario, saying you need these rules, you need these rules. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is reading those rules, playing the first scenario. And then,
that's the thing, is you can learn it in chunks like that. It'll make it a lot easier.
And he's done a Jeremy White on it. And
that's fantastic. You can do something like that. It's fantastic because it makes it more digestible for everybody. And when it's more digestible, then people are not going to be as opposed to playing it or investing the time. They're going to get into it. And going back to NATO, one of the things about NATO is it has what I think is probably one of the best, if not the best, rule books out there, because it is just really well laid out. You can download it from the website and see.
It's very important.
The one that's got, if you know what I'm talking about, forget
the veteran summary.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it saves you a lot of pages because you go, hey, this is what supply is. This is what Zocs are. It's like it gives you a paragraph and says, here's what it is in this game. If you understand this, go right by and read something else.
Let's hope that these times are a new way for guys and girls to write rules.
Sure.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it would be great if that's the case, because it only benefits everybody. And when you make it easier for people to understand a game and learn a game, they're more apt to play it, put it on their table. If they put it on their table, then they're going to be energized about it and tell other people, and other people are going to buy it. And that's how the success is achieved. So I think that only benefits everybody.
And if there's a good game there and the rules are, say, like Red Storm, are like, cool, blimey, and some other guy brings out a solo expansion, said, hold on, play this first scenario, but read this first.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to bring more people in. I mean,
sure.
I know you're not a fan of Atlantic Chase.
I mean,
but the rules are.
Keep going. I'm just reminding everyone.
And the same with Storm over the Reich.
He did that game too, right? Skies above the Reich, Storm over the Reich.
Skies and Storm. Yeah, it's like, don't read the rules, read this, and then just follow this bit.
Well, the rules, what he did was he essentially just went and kind of pretty much did like the flip books for the D-Day at series is what he did. He just, okay, here's your first step, second step, third step, just follow along and you're playing the game. You know, you're literally being taught how to play the game step by step, which is great.
Yeah. And Private, I've watched them. Yeah. It's all these things that have been tickling away. And then when that Solar expansion came out,
nice.
I got told off. I got told off. So yeah, I went, yeah, okay. I'm sold.
And you still ordered it, even though you weren't authorized to.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Only because when that Solo expansion is sold out, it's sold out as well. So,
yes. FOMO, it's a real thing with wargamers.
Yeah, and the other thing is, when you order that, you will get a link to download a massive solo campaign called the Four Horsemen, and it uses SAMs and all that sort of thing.
Nice.
So I've got it. Howard sent it to me.
I haven't gotten the link to it. Are you is it in the rulebook or something?
They're waiting until everybody gets their copy.
Oh, okay.
And then they're going to link it to you, and it's like huge. It's a print and play, but it's a
you got to print out your own map, or
yeah,
use the game map?
No, use the maps. But I think you've got to print out lots of bits and pieces, like
playwright cards.
No, like the maps. You know, the pre-dooded maps.
Oh, the planning maps.
Yeah. So but it's a huge campaign.
Nice.
But you didn't want to put it out because people think, oh, I've got this, and it give me this.
Mm-hmm.
So they're waiting until that's all out. But yeah,
was that supposed to be a secret that you just let out of the bag?
Yeah.
You're a bad man.
I am glad that we literally spent this whole episode talking about the Boog River and Red Storm. Neither of those games I'm interested in or play or own. And you two could just have a wonderful conversation and have me sit here and just look pretty.
Thanks for hosting us today, Jeff. I really appreciate it.
It's like, come on my show and talk, because I'm not interested in what we're talking about.
Yeah, but some of these guys are. You know, and that's the whole point, isn't it?
Show of hands. Who wanted to hear about Boog River and NATO and every other game that we've talked about?
Compass, you know,
you guys did, and I have no problem with that. I'm like, I can't say anything because I don't have any of these games and I don't play them. So
there's a good point too, Richard.
Believe me, believe me, if we weren't being it, you know, they weren't things they would tell us. Yeah, so don't worry about that.
About the GOS system, it's 80 pages of rules, latest magazine game, the Hanut game, or however it's pronounced, Haynut.
That's yes, that's Kev did that.
It's really,
but it's using the same system. It's distilled down to 15 pages. That's fantastic.
It's Viagra Light, isn't it? Viagra Light. Yeah.
I've got let's see, the GOS was Atlantic Wall, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got that one. So
that's bonkers.
So yeah, that's great if you can have something that's like intro and make it feel like, oh, this is a lot easier than I thought it was. And then that 80-page rule book doesn't seem as daunting or as much of a hurdle or a problem to get through. Because sometimes you look at an 80-page rule book, you're like, do I want to play this?
Or you look at the 6 maps and 17,000 counters it comes with.
Yeah, but
you still order the damn thing.
We've got to get new people, younger people involved in the hobby, because we're all going up that ladder, aren't we, as we go on, and I'm
gonna live forever. I don't know about you, but
you get weird injections and things, but you're gonna pop off. So we need to bring in, you know, and we need games
that's true,
that inspire younger guys and girls to do this, and you know, and then maybe one day they'll go to GOS, go to ASL, go to bloody Red Storm, go to, you know.
Well, it comes down to their interest level too, because, you know, everybody keeps talking about, oh, we need to bring people into war games, and they're coming up with different ways of changing the war games. It's like, no, we all came into war games because of the subject matter, the interest in history, so on and so forth. And we learned from the rules, and the rules have improved over time. And yes, that is a hurdle, but there has to be an interest on other people's part to want to get into war games. We can't.
Hmm.
You can change the games in all different ways to try to make it more palatable for these people, but if there's no interest, there's no interest on their side. So, I mean, some of these people, you look at it from the hobby side, that the war gamers, the war game companies are trying to attract those people in from the hobby side of gaming. They bitch about a 2 or 4 or 5 page rule book, and the layout, and at times, not saying they all do, but they bitch about the 3, 4, 5 page rule book. What are you going to do when you get a 40 page rule book?
Yeah, I mean, I come back to the story I tell. I watched an unboxing of Space Empires 4X.
Okay.
Done by a non-war gamer. He said, it's my first war game.
Mm.
And he did the unboxing and he went,
20 pages of rules. Oh my God.
That's what he said. He went, oh, there's 20 pages of rules. There's loads of tokens. It's a different world, isn't it? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. But and there are games that are like introductory sort of war games thing. But I think you're right. If you're not interested in history or conflict, or and I think a lot of people are put off because wars are bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We can't soften the subject matter that we're playing to try to attract people. That's just not it. I mean, these are games of historical conflicts. So there are people that are going to be opposed to that, and that's fine. I respect that. If you're opposed to that, fine, for whatever reasons, moral, religious, so on and so forth. I 100% respect that.
Unless it's sci-fi.
Unless it's sci-fi, then it's okay to kill. It's okay to kill aliens or orcs or something like that. They're imaginary. But I mean, the thing is they can't lose sight of the fact that these are historical conflicts that are being modeled in these games. So you can't soften that. That's the way.
I think we're getting dribbles of people in, that are interested in the history and the conflicts, and but I think. I think it's going to be an uphill struggle, but I think we can.
The graying of the hobby has been happening for decades, and what happens
is, as you say, Mo, we're going to live forever.
That's true. Hurdles are a perception and a conceit. Folks that care to play will; those that don't won't. Making train games and calling them historical games won't draw in more players.
Has he been drinking again?
No, that's Kev, and I agree with him. He's 100% right. I mean, it's true. If you're not going to play it, you're not going to play it for whatever reason. It's like, I always come back to this, like he was talking about train games. It's like, okay, you have historical games, you have war games, and there's a conflation of both of them together saying, oh, this is a war game. It's like this is a war game. This is not a war game. It's like, okay, well, if you want to say like U-boat is a war game versus like NATO or whatever, and you want to equate them, it's like, okay, well then Ticket to Ride is a train game like an 18XX game, but it's set in a historical period. These train games are set in a historical period. They're not war games. A historical period. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is like Ticket to Ride is a family game. It's a set collection is all it is, and it's a wonderful game when you want to play with a few people, teach them in 2 minutes, and everyone just has fun. Like after dinner at holidays or something. But it's not an 18XX game where it's more brain burning and things like that. And it is using real world locations, using the United States, Europe, so on and so forth. So it's grounded in reality in that aspect, but the rest of it is all just putting matching color or matching cards together to put out your little colored trains. Or growing corn. Yeah, true. Yeah. Feed those families.
Well, you 30 people that are viewing our show, if you're here for the free giveaways, you come the wrong week. That's next week, people. Next week. You got to come back. We're not giving away jack diddly squat this week. If you're a freeloader,
you know what, they've come.
Have to come back next week.
I've come because
they come for come on.
They want to hear what it is this week that Ruff loves.
No, they're over that. They want to hear Mo is the word.
Mo is the word. Is the word.
But Hex said
we do appreciate Mo coming on and stepping in for Tony, who's taking another day off. Mo, we're probably going to need you 2 or 3 more times before the end of the year because Tony's just a part-time player anyways. Hopefully you'll be here for our second year anniversary show next week. Hopefully
I will be here for a part of it because next week we start off hockey. So that's our first home game of the season is next Saturday, Sunday. So I'll be up at the arena, getting loaded up, getting ready for that. Probably towards the end.
Teach hockey, coach hockey?
No, I do part of the broadcast team for a hockey team.
Nice.
Is that proper grass hockey or this thing on the ice?
It's the thing on the ice.
Oh,
chasing the little, charcoal briquette around.
You don't have the grass hockey over there then?
No. Field hockey's for girls over here. So literally.
I think you're right. Yeah,
but I will say that hurling would be something I'd like to see over here.
Hurling? What the old brooms and things?
No, that's curling.
Oh, right.
Hurling.
What's that then?
You've not seen hurling?
Hurling.
Go check out hurling.
That means chucking something, does it?
No, it's a combination of lacrosse, field hockey, ice hockey, and just a rugby almost in a way.
So
it's a big game in
Ireland. Vision of a sport. That's what you're saying.
It's great. It's a big game in Ireland, so you might want to check it out.
Oh yes, hurling. Yes. I have.
Oh, now he knows.
It's crazy.
Once you said Ireland, yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's where they're mad over there. So yes, as soon as you said that, yes.
There you go.
Yes, I got it.
Fred O'Sullivan knows.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
He's given me an Irish name there. Look, Rife. Yeah. Oh, Rife. Yeah.
Right.
No, as soon as you said Irish, got it. That's bonkers. That's just like
it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm like, damn, I wish that was over here. I wish that was here when I was a kid. I would have played.
I'll have to check that out. I'll have to go. I'm about ready to go on YouTube and check it out.
Oh yeah, you watch some of the videos, man. It's like, holy crap, this is like hockey and baseball and friggin' whatever put together, just like rugby and everything. They beat the hell out of each other. It's fun.
It's like that game they came up with a few years ago. Remember, it was like football on trampolines. Remember that?
Football
they had it on ESPN for a while. Yeah.
My God.
You don't remember that?
No.
They had like all these trampolines, and then it was like football, but with like on trampolines.
Holy
and
crap.
So you like bounced from area to area. And it was funny as hell. It was great. I can't remember what they called it, but it was funny.
That sounds good.
Well, we're going to be wrapping things up for another week, but don't forget, guys, next week, this is the last time I'm going to remind anybody. If you don't show up next week, you got no chance of winning. Slam ball. See? Platypus knows what I'm talking about. Slam ball. That's what it was called. Slam ball. Check it out. Go check it out. It was funny and it was awesome. Next week is our second anniversary show. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but we're giving free war games away. Mo, we should just give you a game for being like part host, like.
There you go.
So, I don't know what happened.
You got to be in it to win it. He just got
to be in it to win it. Be here next week, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I think you had to hit the loo, as they would say over there.
I think you got the loogie and you had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have to hit the loo? Did you have to hit the loo?
None of your business.
He did. Can't hold his
you get to my age? No.
Ruff.
Yes.
We're gonna wind things up. Are you excited about next week?
Right.
Yeah. The question was, are you excited about next week?
What with the wives coming on?
With how about looking at it as it's 2 years that you got to spend with me?
Yeah, 2 years with you. The wives coming on. You're having a laugh, aren't you? The things. Can you imagine it? They're going to let the cats out of the bags.
Are they?
Uh-oh.
Well, mine certainly.
Well, I blame Mo and his crew, right? If Gimpy didn't have his wife on every other episode, I wouldn't have felt the pressure for us to do it.
Well, the players' aid, Alexander,
Right.
know,
Right.
He
They have
said
their wives on all the time
those
now
guys,
too.
See, me and Kev, we don't do any of that. Our wives just be like, I'm not going to be bothered with your crap.
I
I'm
felt the
surprised.
pressure.
I like it when you go on the
Gimpy's gal
computer.
put the pressure on us, and the pressure was too. I was like, okay, we need to make our second anniversary special great. So
I'm surprised all three wives have agreed. They must have some plan. They must have grievance is the word that springs to mind.
Oh,
Yeah, because they
do
wouldn't.
they know how to run the software? Because they might just tune you guys out.
I don't know. There must be. They've all gone. Yeah, we'll do it. And none of us have gone.
right,
Alarm bells.
right.
Alarm bells.
It just so happens, like I don't know, a month ago, or whatever. Tony's wife was talking to him off camera, and I said, "Hey, call her over." So he called her over, and I said, "Hey, we're thinking of our 2-year anniversary is coming up. We want to have the wives on the show. Are you in?" She's like, "Okay." And then Ruff's like, "Well, let me go ask my wife." And then he went out and then came back and said, "She said okay." So then I was like, "Damn, you idiots." So next week, last episode
Jay's
ever,
comment.
right?
And Mark thinks I'm an
It'll be
Aussie.
the last one. You might as well show up and get yourself a free game.
Oh, that's great.
There it is. In all
Frightening.
glory.
Frightening.
We've got I've got some more. Hopefully we'll have a whole bunch of games to give away. We've got some feelers out to try and get some more donations for the cause. Hopefully we have a lot to give away. So hopefully everyone will show up next week, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will
I'm laughing
have a
at some
good
of the
time.
comments in
Yeah.
the chat.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. I'm afraid the wives are going to read all this stuff and be like, why would we show up if all your jerks that your watchers show aren't going to be nice?
Uh-oh. So that
Right.
means everybody, we need to be there next week, and we need to be on our best behavior to sabotage these guys. I mean,
we need all the guys' support for
Yes,
next week.
it'll be very stressful for us.
Yeah.
It'll be very stressful.
Nah, I think it'll be a lot of
Every
fun.
word we say.
I think
It
it'll
should.
be a lot of
It
fun
should be.
because one thing about the war game community, one of the things when it comes to stuff like that, as you saw with Gimpy's gal when she does all her stuff, it's primarily overwhelmingly supportive of stuff like that. Same for the Players Aid when they bring their wives in. Everybody's supportive of it. There's always going to be the one or two asshats that are going to be asshats. You know, they're just it's
And
whatever.
it's great that they've decided to come on in all seriousness because most of them think, what you're doing, what you're playing, what
People actually watch that crap.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's great they're coming on to support us. So
So let's have a big turnout next week for these guys.
I hope you heard that. Right.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope. We'll see how it goes. It could be the last episode ever. Who knows? But thank you, Mo, for coming out. Ruff, what do you got coming up this week on your channel?
Well, if I don't get ill again, it's going to be across. I've got to, because Vuka sent me the game, and I enjoy the game. I've got to try at least one more turn of it and see what happens. See how I get on, and then we're going to have hopefully Storm Above the Reich solo game, and then I don't know.
Nice.
But yeah. There's too many games, isn't there, Mo?
No,
there's a lot.
What's going on over there on your channel? Do you have any announcements or upcoming events or anything?
No, well, we will have a couple of things here in a few weeks. Like I had mentioned earlier, Fabrizio will be on the channel. We have to just determine a date for that. We're also working on doing a live play with Mark Walker for La Resistance. So that'll be something we'll do a little different. You know, be fun to do a live play of that. And I'll be looking at some of the other Compass games that I've got, a couple of Compass games that I've got to show off here. So you might want to check those out if you've been interested in any of the things.
Thinking that I might have to. You might,
I
you might
think
have convinced me now to buckle down and get a couple of Compass games.
You may have to get one or two.
If you guys are not familiar, Mo is from Mo's Gaming Table.
Of course, they all know who Mo is.
I'm sure they do, but you never know. We got somebody that just accidentally stumbled in here sober, so who knows?
Won't recognize me. Like, who the hell is this jackass?
So, anyways, Mo's Gaming Table over there on YouTube. Check him out. He does a great job. and we appreciate him for stepping in for Tony. And next week, guys, it should be fun. We'll see what happens.
It'll be bonkers.
Should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see it.
All right, guys. Everyone have a good week. We'll see everyone normal time next week, 4 to 6. Thanks, Mo.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.